Okay. The card that we have at the bottom of the deck is the Five of Fire. So we may be seeing that there's some, looking at the keywords here, competing goals, bothersome details, or conflict with others. Now, 5 does tend to indicate rift, but it's not typically a serious rift, like the kind you might see with some of the other cards when there's really a lot going on, maybe, Queen of Swords reversed, or where you have a lot of emotional pain or anxiety, like the 8, 9, or 10 of Swords or something like that. This is not quite as significant, but this can be a reminder that sometimes we do have to choose our battles. We are going into the holiday season. A lot of times people get a kind of a perfectionist mindset going on. Be very careful that you check yours. If you're feeling perfectionistic, remember the only way to be perfect is to be perfectly imperfect, and enjoy the process. Right? Enjoy the process, enjoy the time spent with family, friends, and loved ones. And it's okay if things are not 100%, or if the rules are burnt at the bottom. It's okay, if you weren't able to spend as much money on the kids this year, or your friends, or whatever the case may be. Right? Choose your battles, let go of some of the things that may not be in your best interest to hang on to. It's okay. You're awesome. Right? Cancer does a really good hearth and home feast and situation, typically speaking. I mean, there are exceptions, of course, to any generality of a sign, but Cancers really do tend to be the hostess with the mostest, the host with the most. So be careful you're cutting yourself some slack in that, and not allowing petty squabbles of day-to-day life to kind of get you down. Now, your general energy right now is the Wheel. This is the Wheel of Fortune in other decks. This is about positive change. This is sort of about angels, God, positive energy, things that are out of your control, changing the situation, moving things, turning the wheel of life for forward movement to occur. This is kind of like when we have to wait for certain things in our life. We have to wait. We can have some stagnation in our life. This is about being able to move beyond and forward from that. But this is kind of like fate or destiny play a hand in that. Excuse me. So if there's something that you've been wanting to accomplish, something that maybe it's not that you're not ready. Maybe you haven't been ready for this change, but now you're ready, and the universe is ready as well. They've been working behind the scenes, the angels and spirit guides and helpers. They've been working behind the scenes to get this situation rolling forward for you. And this card indicates that movement is about to occur for you. Wow. At the same time, we have the Dreamer. This is taking that leap of faith. I'm drawn with this card with a circular energy, almost like the Dreamer here is stepping through a magic portal. This is the Fool card in other decks. This is taking that leap of faith. There's an Indiana Jones movie, and I don't remember which one, where he has to take leaps of faith, and it's like he's stepping off of a cliff, and then the stone rises up to meet his feet as he takes the step. It's kind of that idea. I mean, obviously don't blithely leap off an actual cliff, right? But this is kind of that idea that you trust in the universe to provide because it will. And you're going to be seeing a lot of hardcore evidence with that too, because as this wheel turns, you're going to see yourself in opportunities and changes and growth. I'm drawn to 2 zeros on these cards about beginnings. Now, 10 is 1 at an octave higher. So it has to do with the individual, the self, manifestation of self and self energy and so on. The 0's the 0 because it's sort of that phase before you start to take the steps. It's you're lifting your leg and you're moving in this direction, but you're not quite at the Magician just yet. The Magician being number 1 in manifestation. So this is kind of this energy we see sort of like, again, a cycle. This is about you've completed some phase and you're at the beginning, the threshold of the new phase. And both of these have that circular motion to them. Very similar looking in a way, right? Here you have the Fool who's doing the step. Now that the door has been opened by Archangel Michael and the supporters behind you, now this door is open and you're ready to walk through that portal into a new situation. And we see up here, this is Metatron, Archangel Metatron, but we see this angel up here who has been providing support, letting you know that it is your time to move through. Hard to see it, but there is a butterfly there, which indicates, again, that change, that transformation, that leveling up that is occurring in your life right now. So whatever that area is for your life, both of those cards are major arcana cards, indicating that there's spirituality, spiritual growth and development. They're more than your typical earthly, mundane stuff. So again, when you're dealing with the day-to-day blah of people and their stuff, trying to get to you, the petty squabbles and so on, don't let it, because you're really at the threshold of something amazing that's rolling out here, and you kind of don't want to be stuck in... you don't want your moment to be diminished, I guess. I forgot to hit my play on the river, and I'm noticing the dead silence. I don't know why, but I'm just one of those weirdos like that, I guess. Okay, let me get that going. I don't know. Somehow it's metaphorical for me, but I have a lot of Cancer in my chart. My moon is actually in Cancer, which if you know anything about sun and moon signs, that's sort of your internal life, right? It's your internal mysterious, I want to say feminine, like how you go within. And then my mom and my sister are both Cancer, so there's a lot of that, excuse me, in my family. I do notice it's kind of interesting. Families tend to cluster certain zodiac signs to a high degree for whatever reason. Okay, a little segue. Page of Water here. This is kind of what's on your mind. You know, this is about new beginning. This is about the beginning of something that you love. So again, if you're thinking about something, if you're thinking about doing something, starting something, a class, a craft, a journey, something that's been interesting to you, and you're not really sure if you should pursue it, or the beginning of a spiritual journey, all of this is saying, yes, you should. It's interesting because it's with this being a minor arcana and these two cards being major arcana, it's almost like you're thinking of it as being less significant than it's going to turn out to be. It's almost like you're thinking, how can I play, or how can I have fun with this, or just enjoy something simply, and not realizing that this may turn out to be something bigger for you. Kind of like somebody who just enjoys writing children's stories on the side or something like that, doesn't realize that they're the next J.K. Rowling or whatever. I mean, I'm exaggerating. And, obviously you don't want to kind of put an expectation out there, but this is sort of along those lines. Like if you just follow the things that make you feel happy, the things that you enjoy, you can find yourself creating a new place of spiritual contentment for yourself. Now, Page of Water, being on the mind, sometimes that can be someone who relates to you in a younger way. Water's going to be Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. For some of you, it could be your child, your daughter, what have you. It could be a new relationship phase. Let's see, the keynotes, a new person enters your life, relationship begins a new phase, or heightened psychic abilities. So for some of you, it is about that. You're getting in touch with your intuition, and you're starting to recognize that the psychism that is natural to Cancers and other water signs and other zodiac signs altogether. It's inherent in our human being nature that we can tap into it if we want to. But we are agents of free will, so we don't have to do that either. But again, this is the beginning of something that you love, or a person entering into your life. For some of you, if you happen to be expecting, this could be that you are having a child, or something like that. Possibly a daughter, but not necessarily. The page could be a male or a female. Page energy tends to be about student. So think of something that you're studying or learning how to do. Again, to return back to the example of the writer, somebody who's writing things and then learning how to write more clearly, I want to say more better, but that's redundant. Okay, better, or you're kind of learning as you go, I think, on that for some of you. So see what that might be. Beneath you, you guys have got a lot of options right now. And sometimes this can be a place where people get stuck. If you're not feeling very grounded and you have a lot of options, you may get almost spinny about it. Like before, when I was talking about, this is a spiritual journey for you to begin this new Page of Water project, this love project, something that's, part of your spiritual development in your spiritual life. If you're not feeling very grounded about it, it can become overwhelming and you'll never get started. Excuse me. Woo. Or if you're thinking about where it's going to go in your life. Again, using the example of the writer and J.K. Rowling and so on. Okay, that doesn't mean that you're going to be that. But it does mean that just by doing the things, following your natural inclinations, your best inclinations, that can lead you into a level of spiritual fulfillment that maybe you had not been feeling in the recent past. And now you're moving forward in that endeavor. Sometimes people meet new individuals that can help them with something, and they didn't really expect that. Somebody who gives you a new idea, or a friend or a resource, or something like that, like a networking opportunity. But when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my website and all the rest of it, I kept hearing Spirit just tell me, just do it. Like, just do it. Because I kept asking all these questions about, like, should I really do this, these tarot readings on YouTube and, blah, blah, blah. Just do it. Don't worry about the outcome. Don't worry about how you sound. Don't worry about people like it. Don't worry about any of that. Just, it brings me joy to do that. And I really hope that other people are receiving some kind of joy or benefit in doing that. But you can't second guess everything. Stop procrastinating. Make a decision. It doesn't have to be, the New York Times bestseller. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be the CEO of a brand new company that you just founded yourself. That sounds ridiculous, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to, what am I trying to say here? You don't have to be at the top of the game, the first inch out of the gate, right? Horses run many, many races before they win the Triple Crown. Let's just say, same thing here. And it's not about that. It's not about winning. I almost feel like it's some kind of a personal best that you're looking at doing. And it may be related to your current business. It may be related to your family or home life. It's going to be related to something that you're already interested in doing. But it may open that opportunity for you to really make some headway here. For some of you, this 8 of Water, this is in your recent past. It could be in your present tense and moving into the past. Excuse me. Ugh. I'm sorry. I shouldn't do this after I eat, right? This is about a desire to move on, right? Something meaningful, right? Spiritual and emotional growth. 8 of Water is when you say, I need to move on from here because I've devoted a lot of emotional energy into it and I'm not getting my money's worth in a sense. Obviously not money, but it really is time to move on. I'm spinning my wheels here. I'm not getting anywhere with that. I need to leave it. In fact, this card then moves right into this wheel that we have. You were feeling discontented with something, and then you started noticing all these options that you had. And fate is going to present you with an opportunity, and you're going to take that leap of faith and move on into your new cycle. Read these cards from right to left. 8 of Water to Wheel to Dreamer. Doesn't that just make sense? Yeah, I'm sick of my job over here. And here's this brand new opportunity, the Wheel. And wow, I'm going to give it a try, the Dreamer. And it may be something that's really emotionally and spiritually fulfilling for me. Now, for some of you, this may already have happened. And for some of you, it may be that it's about to happen or that you're right straddling the middle of this process. You've decided, I got to leave this job. And you're looking at the career builder websites or jobbing or whatever you do. Indeed.com, that kind of stuff. For some of you, you're already kind of in that. And this is saying the reason you're leaving that situation is because you're looking to find something that you can put love into. You're looking for a new situation that you can put some love into. For some of you, it could be leaving a relationship even, that wasn't too serious for you or what have you. But a lot of it really is about leaving some other kind of environment. Because, when you're in when you have a job, you like your job. You don't just like to whatever. You like to connect with your coworkers. You like to connect with the customers, the clients, the people involved. You're a people person. Even if you're an introverted Cancer, you still like to connect with people. You're still going to have to balance that with downtime and alone time and stuff. But you're going to want to have more. So All of this is about moving on to something else, having that confidence and that faith. Use your Cancerian intuition to guide you in that, because it really does look like you're going to find something positive that comes here. But be very careful, because now from the 7 of water energy, we move into this 2 of air in the immediate future. Again, for some of you, you may already be here, but this is having a lot of choices, and this is about being unable to make that decision, being kind of stuck, needing to make the decision, stalemate. Air is intellectual energy, and the water in here is spiritual and emotional. And then the major arcana. Seriously, every card in here, you've got 4 major arcana cards. You've got 4 water sign cards, 1 earth and 1 air. Like, I'm not kidding. This really is about a spiritual and emotional journey for you. This is you overthinking. Stop it. Stop overthinking. If you really have a lot of options, sit down, write out, get organized, get grounded in your reality. Sit down, pen and paper, old-fashioned pen and paper. Sit down with your cell phone, whatever works. Talk to Alexi, what's that stupid computer thing in the room that eavesdrops on everybody? Whatever. I'm paranoid. I can't help it. But sit down, write down every single thing that you want to do. Boom, 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 right? And write the pros and cons list for each of these things. And once you're done with that list and you feel exhausted from that list, you want the good and the bad for each of those. Then sit down and assign points. They get 1 point just for showing up on the list, but some things way more. Don't think about the points when you're just brainstorming what the list looks like, pros and cons. But think 1 through 5. If it's on the list, it deserves even a 1. If you can't give it 1 point, cross it off the list. You're just making trouble for yourself. Get organized in this. Weigh and measure, and then just go ahead and make that change. And go with your gut, too. All of this water and spiritual energy is about you connecting with your spiritual and emotional life. So when you overthink it, you shut down and you're not there. So a lot of it really is going to be tapping into that energy. Take a deep breath. Take several deep breaths. Don't get lightheaded, right? I don't want you falling down and getting hurt. But take a couple deep breaths. Relax. Imagine yourself at that job interview. How did I feel in that interview? How did I feel when I was writing that story? How did I feel when I was doing a video? How did I feel when I was, and see what are the things that just drive up your passion and make you feel better? What were the things that made you feel lighter than air? And that's going to be a helping hint. Your body will kick back information to you about your emotional life if you're disconnected because you're in your head. Be sure to do your grounding, walk barefoot around, do your deep breathing, take a sea salt bath. What else? Play in the dirt, like transplant some of your flowers. Maybe this is the wrong time of year. I kill everything I touch. I don't even know. But I don't mean to. It just happens. All right. I'm a dead thumb. But the point is, get back in touch with that. Walk barefoot. Squeeze your toes into some sand or into the grass or into the carpet or, whatever you need to do to kind of get yourself back into that place so that you can feel more calm and tap into clarity. Some meditation may be helpful. All right. I don't want to beat that dead horse anymore. The card representing you, though, this is manifestation. So any reservation that you're having, 7 of water, 2 of air, this is a temporary thing. Again, this is a very powerful place. This magician is about making it happen. This one is the next logical phase in the spiritual journey, the spiritual development journey, from the fool who's taking the leap of faith to the magician who says, I know how to make this happen. I'm practicing law of attraction. I'm stating what it is that I want. I want a job I like. Okay, well, that's manifestation. That's a positive statement. Avoid the I don't want statements, right? But think about the positive ones. Go back to your pros and cons list. Do your grounding exercise. Meditate. Several deep breaths. How does your body feel when you imagine yourself back at that particular job or location or doing that for a living? Do you feel tense? Do you feel, or do you feel positive? And, this is something that you can do. You have the ability to make this happen. Think about all the successes you've already had in your life, whether you knew you were ready for them or not. Now, your environment card, wow, a dreamer, wheel, magician, world. This is what's going on in your environment. This is how others see you. This is how you are in your environment. This is about that completion. Remember, the dreamer's the brand new beginning. The world is the last card. The dreamer's the 0. We got 21, 0, and 1. Those are all in a row. And then we have 1 elevated here with this wheel. You've got divine assistance. Archangel Michael comes up twice. Pray to him to help you. He is the archangel that's responsible in part for at least he helps us with understanding our life purpose, our spiritual journey here on earth, what we're here to do, what our soul contract is. So ask him for help. He won't turn you down, and then journal, to get some of your feelings out. Oh, okay. 3 of water. This is what you're hoping for, right? Celebration, wedding, graduation, birth announcement, this is people celebrating you and your success, your victory that's coming, because you're starting this great new thing. But this is also about taking care of you, right? We've got the 1 in the middle that's like bigger and shinier than the others. But then we have the 2 there that can represent you and your mate, or that can represent just you having a good time with some of your friends, celebrating your new enjoyment of life. It's like I'm feeling an emotional celebration. Even if there aren't other people involved, this is really, you've got a lot to feel awesome about. I do want to circle back to this real quick, and then we'll look at that other card. The 5 of fire can be internal conflict, and I think that's with some of this, like the 2 of air. I think it's a reflection of that. The 5 of fire kind of indicates where you may be having your difficulty or what's a counterbalancing energy to all this positivity that's going on. This needs to be muted. However, you need to douse this or to put that out of business. Any of that worrisome thinking that may be holding you down, keeping you stuck. Because you don't have to live there. You really do have a choice on be excited. If you're in a stable home life, a stable environment, you have time and room to tinker with it, but don't forget to make it happen. Create that daily schedule if you're feeling ungrounded. I'm really feeling that some of you are quite ungrounded, and that's what's coming back with the 7 of water energy and the 2 of air. So that's why I'm encouraging you to do some of those techniques for grounding. And you can Google that too, because there's probably a million ideas out there that I didn't even begin to mention here. But that's something you can do to connect with your manifestation piece. A lot of us are so up in our heads or our hearts that we miss being able to plant our feet firmly and take our ideas, thoughts, and emotions and put the thing that's manageable, to take care of our day-to-day grind, our earth stuff. Now, this final outcome card here is about working. This is really hitting it and manifesting a lot. Skilled work is rewarded, learning all there is to know about a topic, and going back to school. So it looks like you're going to make that decision in spite of any internal conflict that you may be feeling about your success. You're going to do something. And don't worry about it, right? Don't worry about that. Even if you take a path and then you feel later like you need to do something else, it could be a launching point into some other direction. Kind of like you start to read up on a subject and then you're going, that's not very interesting, but wow, I was really amazed when I was reading about this other thing on the side. This footnote, just places, I really liked it, or whatever. You never can tell. Sometimes it's an indirect road. In fact, I'm thinking of that tree of life. It's like a Celtic symbol, and there's a maze that goes around it. One of my other decks actually has a world tree, and it's got that maze that goes through it. The idea is that the way to get to the heart of the tree is around the circuitous route. It's not a direct straight line. Because of who we are, we have to learn a lesson, and then we've got to sort of circle around. But at the same time, we're elevating. It's like we're spiraling up. So we may be learning the same lesson over again, but in a different way or at a higher level. Again, we're moving up the octaves here as our wisdom grows and as we begin to really understand what our life's purpose and journey is. And it's going to be messy. Kind of like when you're baking a fabulous feast, or meal, you're gonna dirty a dish. You're gonna have to wash the grease off your hands there's gonna be some splatter on the counter, but know that the kitchen will be clean again. It's just, you're rolling up your sleeves and you're getting in the dough or whatever you're making.